was a truly wonderful grandfather. And over the years, the time that we spent with our papa taught us all a lot of important life lessons, and I'd like to share some of my favorites with you today. Lesson 1, it's important to capture memories. Anyone who's ever been to an event with Papa knows that he always had his camera on him. He was always ready to take a picture, and always ready to be in one, too. If he heard the word "say cheese," his picture-perfect smile was only an instant behind. Papa was excellent at capturing memories as they happened. My favorite example of this is when I think back to Christmases spent at my Nana and Papa's house here in Ohio. Family would come over and head down to the basement where the trees and the presents were set up, and there would be Papa hiding behind the video camera, trying to capture every moment as people opened their gifts. When we would watch that video footage later to relive the magic of Christmas Day, there would be lots of giggling over the many scenes that had joyful dialogue, but were pointed at the floor. But this amateur videography was because Papa knew that yes, it's important to capture memories, but it's also important to live in the moment. He would be sure to capture the memories to look back on, but also to be present for the excitement and to enjoy his time with friends and family. Lesson 2, dance like no one is watching. As you all know, Papa loved to dance. I'm pretty sure he was born with his dancing shoes on. One of my favorite recent memories of Papa is the time that I spent dancing with him at my cousin Trey and Gisette's wedding. He just couldn't stay in his seat that night. He spent the whole evening grabbing any dancing partner that was willing to join him. At one point, he came, got me out of my seat, and said, "Come on, it's time for you to give me a dance." And it was an offer I couldn't refuse. We boogied for a couple of songs together, and I just remember that he was so happy. My heart breaks knowing that I won't get to share a dance with him on my own wedding day someday, and that so many of my cousins won't get that joy. But this memory is so precious to me, and I'm so grateful to have had that time with him. Papa's joy at being on the dance floor reminds me that it's important to do the things that make you happy. Lesson 3, life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing poor cards well. This lesson is one that Papa demonstrated, of course, through the way he handled hardships. But he really drilled this one in at the card table. Most of you know that Papa was always ready for a game of rummy. My favorite thing about playing cards with Papa was the way he always put on such a show about it. He'd huff and complain to the deck every time he drew a card. He'd say, "Oh shoot, why can't I get my card?" Or, "Nikki, you can throw out that deuce, I know you don't need it." He'd make these exclamations right up to the moment when he laid down his spread and went out, while I was still a good 5 cards away from having anything useful in my hand. While it could be that he was an exceptionally lucky card player, I like to think that he was very skilled in making something out of nothing with the cards he was dealt. Although I guess this lesson could also be bluffing can be very entertaining. Papa taught me other things too, like be kind to strangers, help others where you can, be grateful for what you have in life, work hard, play hard. But the best lesson that he taught me, and that he taught all of us, is the lesson of what true love looks like. His 60 years with Nana were the perfect example of what a strong, loving marriage should be. A friendship, a partnership, a support system. One that can withstand time, distance, illness, and struggle. That can produce 5 smart, talented, kind-hearted children and nurture them into valuable members of their communities and wonderful parents to over 20 grandchildren. Through the ups and downs, Papa stood by Nana's side, caring for her, supporting her, loving her, and doing the same for the family that they created together. Love and devotion like his is something that I will work every day to emulate. Papa, you will be deeply missed, and we will cherish every memory.